This presentation for the refugee story um, is present by Xuanhao Wang and Raymond Tan. And so right now, I just could give guys a great introduction for this part. So in this era of the frequent war, more and more refugees appears in our society. They lost their homeland because of the war. They can only live in the difficult refugees camps. The difficult conditions just give them a very painful life right there. Next page. And so right here, we can see on the first page that the refugees sitting on a boat. They leave the homeland. Sometimes they need to cross the ocean to another part in the war. We can see their faces really painful. And their eyes are filled with the confusions. And also, we can feel let's say in the winter, we can see the clothes, and the ocean looks really, really cold. We can show that, and we can feel that's really painful in their life. Page. Okay, so on this page, we can realize that there's a small evil in the camps for this part, and a few tents just stacked on the center, and such as this living environment will spread a large number of the disease. And also, therefore, in order to reduce the spread of the disease, the government of the other countries should try to give these refugees a better living environment to make sure they're healthy for their life and make sure they're healthy for futures. So I think it's really painful for them, and we can see that the environment is pretty bad for their lives. Next page. Okay, so in this page, we can see that the camps environmental are really bad. This is a severe smoke anywhere, so we can see that the sky is really bad, and the air is really bad also for them. And therefore, furthermore, the infrastructures for there is also really terrible. We can see like there's home is just like a factories. Home is really simple, and the people just feel really bad and dirty everywhere. And this is a bad situation. Should let wars to think how to give the refugees stable lives for their life. And also we can think like we should have some larger the larger countries should give them a better life for futures, and should be build a better future for them. They can go to get a higher educational, or they could have just avoid another war in their lives. So I think that's also need to get better for them. Okay, so next page.
Okay. Thank Ray for his knowledge about the refugees. But here I want to tell you a story. And this story about the refugees. And this story takes place in the Syria. As we all know, many Syrians lost their homes due to the war in Syria from the 2011 to 2015. And the character of this story is a 12-year-old boy, Zain, and who is one of the 1 million Syria refugees. And the boy and his family lived in a poorest neighborhood of the city Lebanon. And one day, he couldn't stand the neglect of his parents and chose to run away from home. During the period of running away from home, he met a refugee from the Ethiopia and become a friend. Zayn was later tried for the crime, and he filed a complaint against his parents in the court at the same time. And the judge asked him what you was accusing your parents of. And he said, because they giving birth to me. And when I see this, I believe you have probably guessed that this is the plot of the film. But in fact, the child who plays the leading role in the film is named Zayn. He is indeed a refugee and lives in the poorest neighborhood in Lebanon. He not only has no way to go to school, but also faces the danger of violence and drugs. The only difference is that his parents love him very much. After the film was broadcast, their family was resettled in Norway. Now they live in a situation in completely different, and Zayn also has the opportunity to enter school for education. After hearing this story, you may say that Zayn is very lucky. Yeah, indeed. According to the report of the UN embassies, less than 1% of the refugees in the world have been resettled, and their lives are also full of the hardships. Therefore, it is necessary to reset the refugees in the large countries. At least this can make them really live, but not the survival.